Welcome to the Key Martin Unlock Your Greatness podcast. I am your host, Ramon Martin. Today's guest is a motivational speaker, a certified coach, a co-author. She also specializes in parenting coaching. Ladies and gentlemen, Karen Gibson.
Thank you
Thank,
so much for having me, Ramon. I'm excited to be here.
thank you for coming on the show. Greatly appreciated. Yeah. So, speaking of parenting and coaching parents, what inspired you to get into that?
Well, I'm a mother myself. I have currently 22 and 28. So you can imagine I've made every mistake. Sometimes they remind me, hey, mom, would you do that as a parent coach? No, I wouldn't. But right now, I'm just being human. But I think it started when my older one went off to college and I was brokenhearted. People tell you about the hurt when you give birth, but when they leave you, it is just devastation because it's a part of you that goes and you have no control. You have no idea, what they're doing, and you really have to trust their journey. So that's what started it.
That's cool. Yeah, so yeah, like for example, my mom's in 70s, all her kids are grown, and she, all of us are at the house now, and then she still can't let go.
Yeah.
That even when I leave out of town or the country, she panics and it just worries. So like you never stop being a parent, no matter how old you are and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
like your kids are adults as well as two of mine are. You just never stop caring, and that like we said before the show, like they're older, but we still think like there are babies and they're 12 years old.
Definitely. I think my mom, even when I was 50, when she was like, hey, did you make sure that whatever, whatever. And you think, wow, we will always be babies in our mother's eyes. But I think it is possible to let go of the worry and the panic because it's something like how you're saying the key to unlock that part of the brain that comes up with the negative scenarios, because that's what leads us, right, to panicking and worrying.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. And then even as a parent and stuff, like even before we become parents, and this the importance of some things happen in life. We sometimes we become parents unexpectedly and stuff. So we still got to we learn in life as people and stuff and as parents. So like just explain to the audience the importance of mindset, like self-care and loving yourself and stuff, so we could be better people to our parents and to our kids.
Yeah, those three components that you just said, I think some parents feel they're too busy for self care. But if you're operating on an empty tank, and I tell some parents it's not even empty, it's broken. So you try to fill it up and you are unable to because the overwhelm, the frustration, all of those previous moments where you needed self care and you chose just to go on that hamster wheel. And then you mentioned about a mindset. I think I started being just a worried mom because I followed my dad. Both of my parents, very just scary kind of just scary childhoods, I guess. You know, and when that happens, parents unwillingly pass that on to their children. So if you're a worrier, your children are constantly watching you worry, and it just becomes almost part of their DNA because they witness it, they become it, and that is something that can be broken. One of my the course that I've made, breaking the cycle of anxious parenting, it's not just anxious, but it's just not trusting. You know how you have, and I'm sure as a
Yeah,
dad, you just, oh, what if, and you can go down the rabbit hole, with
yeah.
that question.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I also saw on your Instagram page you got a slogan. You turn parent warriors into warriors. And I like that slogan. You talking to me as well. Just is how about like is it like the difference be, between just kind of like having leaning into that faith and than worry, because like things are out of your control. You shouldn't
Mhm.
worry about things that are out of your control. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is just can you simplify by that just like what you actually mean by turning parent warriors into warriors?
Yeah, good question. I think when we worry, we sink into this, and you believe in that whole energy, just negative energy, negative thoughts, and it can become an obsession. It's an addiction, actually, because once your brain goes there, it's going to come up with another negative scenario, another worry, and what could go wrong, and how can you prevent it, fix it? What can you do? And like you said, there's a lot of things that are beyond our control. Can you make sure your child does everything that has to do with school? Is he going to always brush his teeth on time? Is he going to remember to carry the umbrella? So I think when I said to transform or become a warrior, when you picture a warrior, you picture what? A pillar of strength. You picture someone who is confident, someone resilient. And I think once you almost like bury the worries, you're capable to access that part of your mind that starts trusting, right? Once you trust, confidence is automatic. And then you are able to just see your child doing what, just trusting. Your child will get it. Will they make mistakes? Oh, definitely. But will they overcome it? They will, right?
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. And how about life after kind of like going back to like the beginning question, life after when the kids are out the house and empty nesters. Like for example, my fiance, she's a busy mom, pretty much a single mom, 3 kids and stuff. She's doing it all by herself right now. And they're young. So the question is the long term is like what are we gonna do when all the kids are grown and move on? So how do you tell the parents how to maybe prepare for that day when it's coming and how this change their mindset?
That is something that I think everyone will manage or figure out on their own. But I had someone and she's worrying already, and her child is 7. Thought, wow, that's one of those like expert. You are worrying already. You still
Yeah.
have, you know, uh, 11 years to go. I guess I could call myself half empty nester because my older one is in California. My younger one is still with us, but whenever she goes on trips, I realize, wow, this is the way it's going to be.
Yep.
And I've heard parents who've been, I guess, expert empty nesters, so to speak, that they've learned to keep yourself occupied, busy, find a passion. One of my neighbors, in fact, said that she read my Mama's Gotta Let Go, How to Let Go Without Losing Your Sanity, even though I don't promise that you'll keep your sanity. And she was very vulnerable in saying that she, started drinking. And then she realized I need to do something. So now she does volunteering at the library, volunteering for, different organizations. But when you have a purpose and a passion, and just almost like you have to reinvent the life that you had before becoming a parent, or else you will feel lost. You won't know like what, wake up in the morning and you wonder like, what it's going to feel empty, right? So I think the key is to find a passion and know that you can be fulfilled without your little one. See the gift in it. No more being a chauffeur. No more, having to drop what you're doing so that you can do the mom or dad duty, right?
Right. Yeah. Like my parents, once we was all grown and stuff, what they did was they start traveling. Like you would call and like
Yes.
I called like, how you doing, mom? Like, oh, I'm in New York
Yeah.
or I'm in Brazil. Like you didn't say anything.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I remember when I called after I got married, I called my mom, and when she didn't answer, I'm like, wait, why isn't she answering? And you forget that they have the right to have their own life. But
Yeah.
as a child, you just think mom will answer no matter what. And now with FaceTime or cell phones, they are literally at, you're just
Yeah.
right there, right? Just a call away.
Yeah. So this is like a question that I always ask the audience. I asked Deslin this as well. Do you have any morning routines? If you do have morning routines, what are they?
Okay, Jessica knows this one, and I know some people might think, "What?" I love, and I'm so glad my family is not tired of listening to it. But I play "Permission to Dance" by BTS when I'm brushing my teeth, putting on my makeup. Sometimes they do "Sukiyaki," a Japanese song that reminds me of my mom. Another old one, I don't know if you know it. It's "Greatest American Hero," which was based, I think, on an '80s show. But music really helps me just like start the day. You know, those days where you think, oh, I just don't want to
Mhm.
start. Deep breathe, just sitting there, no matter how busy or even late you might be, 3 minutes, just deep breathing. Sometimes it could be 30 seconds, but I think if I, deep breathe, listen to music, and take my dogs on a walk, just doing that, looking at the sky and looking around, it does ground you, and then you're ready.
That's cool. Yes, and also you're also an author, as well as myself. Yeah, congratulations on just co writing a book. I believe it's called The Power to Rise Above.
Oh yes, that's my first collaboration. I'm one of 30 authors along with Deslin, and I actually share a very vulnerable story called The Gift of a Failed Suicide Attempt that happened 30 years ago. And then I have two other books, The Mama's Gotta Let Go. And then during the pandemic, Deslin encouraged me to do like a few tips, like daily videos, and it turned into 100. I did 100 consecutive days, and I decided to turn it into a book. So it's called 100 Parenting Tips Inspired by the Pandemic. And my recent ones are it's 365. This is the ebooks, 365 parenting affirmations and tips, and even humor. And I recently engaged in a lot of like art. So I paint, and so every quote, every page has one of the artworks. So there's 365 of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's been quite a journey.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And that goes by with storytelling as well, the importance of storytelling. I always say
Yes.
this. I say this when I speak. I say this when I do interviews or give interviews. The stories what we go through and stuff is not for us to keep to ourselves. It's for us to for the world. It's just the work that we're doing, going out inspiring, helping people, and that just can you just elaborate on the importance of storytelling, your
I think,
testimonies.
yeah. Yeah, I think sharing, we each have a story inside. Some of us have multiple stories, and some of us feel maybe hesitant or embarrassed. I never thought in my lifetime that I would write about the suicide attempt. And then I switched it, and it's the gift of a failed suicide attempt. And one of the great stories I've heard is someone saw my chapter, read it, and decided to live another day and another day. And now she's, choosing to live. So I think it can be life changing in many ways. Someone might pick up your story and think, wow, I'm not alone. Or they might laugh at certain parts of your story. And then one day have the inspiration to share their own story. So I think it's so powerful to leave a legacy. Your legacy is actually your story, right? And
Right.
future generations will benefit from it. And like when you're gone, you're still here, and your children, great grandchildren, right? I mean, I look at the books there, just imagine hundreds of years from now, they'll still be there.
Yes. And I always think about that as well. It's just with the social media and stuff. Like even when our grandkids and our great grandkids and stuff, even after we're gone and stuff, the content still be there for them to listen. And you know how back in the 1800s and stuff, they had books. Now we have technology and stuff. They can actually see videos and stuff.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think that's the beauty of it. So you'll remember, like your great great grandchildren will see, wow, that's what, you know, they looked like. That's what they sounded like. And we're just very lucky. to have that technology to do that with.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a new program out called PQ Parenting Program. You want to
Yes.
talk about that?
Yeah, thanks for asking me about that, Ramon. PQ parenting is not just for parents. I've had a couple of 20 something year olds, and what it does is there's 9 inner voices in our head, and it could be controller, victim, restless, avoider. You take an assessment. I'll send that to you, in fact, 'cause I'm interested. I'm always interested to hear like what your top 3 inner voices. It's by Shazad Shamin. He's had over 500,000 people go through the program. But what you learn is which voices control you. And I call them superpowers. He calls them sage. And it's how do you access the part of your brain that will either see the inner gift, right? Or you might, a good question is if you were, say, on your deathbed, how would you view the situation? Major perspective. So all of this in 7 weeks, there's an app, you see weekly videos from Shazad, you meet with me weekly, but you really uncover the layers and layers that make us who we are, especially the limited belief part. Because sometimes you don't know. What if the belief started in utero? Something happened. You heard something when you're in your mom's tummy, or you forgot something that happened in 3rd grade, but it really impacted, the way that you believe, your thoughts, just your mindset. So I've been having a lot of fun with it.
No. Looking forward to getting
Taking
that.
the assessment, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll email it to you.
Yes. All right. Nice. And yeah, just back the same thing with me. I wrote in my book as well about something that happened to me in 3rd grade. Just lost all confidence. From a teacher, just kind of put me down.
Hmm.
And my mom actually reminded me before that I was a good reader and for a first grader, first and second grader, and like I was very advanced. And then something happened in 3rd grade where my confidence just went away. And my confidence just went away because of I can't. Yeah, I can talk about like this the teacher how it wasn't really being a teacher, and
Hmm.
right there just it traumatized me. So from what I learned from that is like as parents can't really put our full faith in the teacher. We got it starts from home. It starts from the parenting and stuff. We send our kids out to school to get the education, of course,
Hmm.
but it starts at home.
Well, and also being aware, because I know some kids are saying, "Oh, my mom said that I'm like her. I'm not like my dad because my daddy doesn't read." They pick up on these little cues and they really believe it. Or if you're upset and you say, I remember my mom said, "When you have a house, you're probably going to be messy." She probably said that once or twice when I was 7, but it sticks to, in your
Yeah,
in your head. My stories when I was 10, I was told I had no musical talent. You have to take those assessments, and they
yeah,
just said, "Oh yeah, don't do anything with music." So from then on, I didn't. My daughter's like, "Did you want to try?" No, if someone's going to tell me. And when you're little, you believe what the
mhm.
adults, especially teachers and parents, say.
Yeah. The people that we supposed to be looking up to and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so it's all about inspiration and encouraging our kids and stuff before they leave the house.
Definitely. And also apologizing when, I mean, because we all say things out of anger and children will remember that. So I've been doing a lot of apologizing, and it's been said that even after you're gone, if you apologize, because you're doing it for you, right? And it just
Yes.
helps children realize, wow, parents are human. They make mistakes and give you grace.
Oh yeah. Me growing up, I thought parents were like adults, just adults in general, just always right.
Yeah.
And
They
yeah,
walk on water, right? They're
yeah,
perfect.
exactly. Yeah, I realized that we all make mistakes and we learn. We still learning.
Still learning.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, before we get out of here, anything else you want to promote or any closing remarks or anything?
I want to thank you, Ramon, for having me here. This has been so much fun. I always enjoy talking about my passion, which of course is parenting, the brain, the things that you and I think have in common. If anyone wants to reach me, you can find me on Instagram, Karen Casey Gibson, or you can visit my website, which is lettinggowithaloha.com. And I encourage, people to just contact me with their challenges. That's what I'm here for. And just to connect, because I think the more we connect, the more we learn, and an opportunity to share our story.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Karen Gibson.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.